What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Hippo Supercoach, and today we're going to be talking trades, my plans, and just like general discussion when it comes to the next few weeks. A bit more of like a brainstorming sort of video, so yeah, bear with me. We'll go over people that have traded in and out, but not super structured like we have the last few weeks. So yeah, I'll give you guys my thoughts on all these big dogs that people are trading in and out. I'd love to get your thoughts as well. So basically what I'm doing is I'm thinking about fading Heeney. It's because I have to trade Matt Roberts or Matt Crouch if I want to get Heeney. Otherwise, I simply don't have the money. I'm just shy, about 2k short of him by doing, McKercher, Sanders, and Cadman. Just about 2k short. So nothing I can do. And I'm almost going to take this as a sign, maybe not to pay this much for him. I still could quite easily get Matt Roberts to Heeney. But like I just think Matt Roberts has got a bit more money to make, and I don't think Heeney and Serong from this point onwards are going to average too dissimilarly for the rest of the season. I could be wrong. Heeney could just keep going 145, and that would completely screw me. Everyone has him, obviously, and Serong could drop off a little bit. It's a risk I'm willing to take at this point. So in terms of bringing in Serong, I could also bring in guys like Rowell, Took, even Noah Anderson. Not really considering Anderson, but Rowell, Took, Sam Walsh obviously is in consideration, but I just don't know who I should bring in out of those guys. But I'm leaning towards Serong. Now, obviously he's got a great run. Break-even's pretty high, but look, he could hit that against West Coast. I know they've been playing better, but he did go 146 against them last year in round 3, only 97 in round 22. But yeah, I think West Coast and then Bulldogs, where he's gone big the last 3 times he's played them, and then he has Richmond, where everyone's going big against them. So yeah, it's a nice little couple of weeks draw, and he plays Richmond again and West Coast later in the year. So yeah, I just think Serong a little bit more safe, probably a bit more durable than some of these other guys, especially Walsh. So the reason I'm not too keen on Walsh is obviously injury interrupted pre-season. He's just not. Like, his back has flared up multiple times. So I don't know if I'd be going early on someone like Sam Walsh. Look, could he be a top 8? Absolutely. He was a gun in the finals, obviously. So, yeah, there's plenty of reason to get him. But, yeah, for me, unless you really can't afford someone like Took or Rowell or Serong or any of these guys you don't have, like Steele, then, yeah, maybe you have to consider Walsh. But I don't really want him personally. I think it's not a trap, but I think it's a potential injury trap. So yeah, you got to remember there's still like 17 more rounds to go. That's a long time for Sam Walsh to stay healthy. So yeah, I mean, I guess worst case scenario, you just trade him out. If he's out, we do have enough trades, I guess, so you could look at that. The flip side of it, there is a lot of trades left. But look, once I start getting below like 15, I'm going to start panicking a little bit, because that's when we need to be a bit more tactical with conserving trades and whatnot. So I say people trading out Matt Crouch, but I personally wouldn't do it. I think 108 average, still really good. He's only missing 1 week at the end of the day, and it is best 18. If it wasn't best 18, then I could see why people might want to chase that ranking a little bit. But even still, I just think Crouch he's a safe 105 average in my opinion. And he's the last person I would look to trade out in this midfield, because obviously he's probably not going to be top 8, but you can still hold him for the majority of the season and get tons from him. And I think that's really valuable at this point. I don't want to have to trade someone out that I can rely on for a ton. So yeah, personally, I wouldn't be trading out Matt Crouch. If you don't have guys like Luke Ryan, so let's just bring up the players now. And ultimately, we want as many of these top 10, 12, 15 sort of players as we can get. I've got a fair few, as you guys can see. Obviously, we're not really going to count Walsh. Heeney's the big one we're missing, averaging 9 more points than the next highest, which is Luke Ryan. And like I said, if I really do want Heeney, I can get Matt Roberts to him, no problem. But if I can, I will just grab Serong for now. And the thing is with Heeney is, I've made a lot of excuses against him, and none of them have really worked. But we do have Luke Parker coming back, I believe, next week. So not this round 6, but round 7. So that's something to consider, because that's going to affect that CBA split at some point, or somewhat, I should say. And then if we go to DFS Australia, And we look at, who are we looking at? We're looking at Sydney. And we can actually see, so Heeney went down to 55%, so they dropped him a little bit and brought Goulden up. Obviously Heeney still scored really well, and he's going to kick goals, so like he's going to score. But adding another guy into this split, out of all these four guys, so Goulden, Rowbottom, Warner, Goulden, Rowbottom, and Warner, who of them can play, and Heeney, who is the best forward out of them? It's absolutely Isaac Heeney, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, Rowbottom, he has to play mid, Warner has to play mid, Goulden can play wing, so that's, you can, make an argument for that, but I know they want him in that midfield as well, 52%. Very weird splits here, so, yeah, so 52% for Goulden, so I just think Heeney will eventually go forward, it makes sense. That's not going to drop his average by a country mile, but it might mean he goes more like a 105 for the rest of the year than what he's doing, 145. So that's one thing to consider about Heeney. And then, yeah, so Matt Rowell's another one that's interesting. I do think, I'm not too sure if his disposal numbers are high enough to sustain this average. I know he had like 22 disposals, a lot of contested, which is good, but yeah, I just don't really trust Matt Rowell for the full season. I'd rather Serong, more scoring avenues, I think. I think Serong's a lot better on the outside, whereas Rowell is just pure contested, or pure inside mid. I do like inside mids, but I don't think Rowell's got like that stat pad in him, like Serong and some of these other mids. And then obviously Merritt, if I could afford Merritt, I'd probably jump on him. We know how good his run home is and run coming up, so Adelaide, Collingwood, West Coast, West North, expect him to go pretty big in all those games, and then Richmond as well. So yeah, just disgustingly good run. But I can't afford him at this point, and I'd love to get him in next week, maybe for Matt Roberts, who knows. It's going to take a lot, but yeah, that's sort of the plan. Neil, I probably wouldn't go near. Yeah, I think Luke Ryan, if you don't have him, I think you probably try and get him in as soon as possible. I don't know if he's going to have a bad game. I guess you got to wait. And Gawn, absolutely non-negotiable. Just try and force him in at some point. Same with Sheasley if you don't have him. Steele, I think, is going to be M1, 2, or 3. Not sure where he'll fall in that, but yeah, somewhere around there. And then it's like Butters as well. If you don't have him, is he really going to hurt you? I mean, if he gets his first quarters right, then yeah, he'll probably be good. Who are people trading out? So if you can, try and hold Sanders, because I think he's got a good score in him with no Libba this week. Howes, I don't know about Howes. You probably have to trade him because he's got the bye. Even though he scored remotely well last week. And then we have, Jai Clark. Yeah, you can probably get rid of him. McKercher. These guys haven't made a lot of money, but at this point, we've got to be aggressive. And like, if you want to really push up the rankings, you got to play aggressive. And when I'm saying play aggressive, I don't want to be aggressive for guys that are injury prone, like Zorko, like Walsh. And I also don't want to trade players just for the sake of trading them. Like, for example, Grundy last week, I could have gone Marshall, I could have gone English. Marshall probably would have looked good, but English, for example, I probably would have gone English out of those two, and he gave a 58. So don't trade premiums just for the sake of trading them if you don't trust them fully. I trust Serong almost fully. Even if he goes 110 for the rest of the year, I think that's still fine. That's not a problem. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the trades video. I don't think there's anything else really to talk about, but yeah, I just, like I said, I hope Serong can keep up with Heeney, if not outscore him over the next few weeks. And hopefully Heeney drops a little bit more in price. It's going to take a few weeks to come down because his break even is 50. But yeah, that's my plan. Obviously, we'll eventually need to get Heeney in, but hopefully not for $640,000. And hopefully his role comes down just a little bit. I think it will, but who knows? Maybe they just say, fuck it, we're going to keep you in the midfield and you're going to win the Brownlow. But anyway, that's it for the video, guys. See you guys in the next one.